Speaking to Good Morning Britain earlier today, he said, "Alfie does not need intensive care. Alfie is lying on the bed with 1 liter of oxygen going to his lungs and the rest is him. Some people say it's a miracle. It's not a miracle, it's a misdiagnosis. There's no miracle about this. I've had a feeling about Alfie's condition for a long time now and I've always said I struggle to believe it's a neurodegenerative disease. He's been off a ventilator for 3 days now and there's been no deterioration. He hasn't woke up and he is a bit weak, but we asked to go home. It is now the 3rd day Alfie has been off life support and the father revealed there's not one single problem with him, but after asking for the right to take him to Italy for more treatment, Tom's appeal was yesterday rejected. Now, the dad hopes to talk to doctors at Alder Hey Hospital to be able to take him home for the remainder of his life." Here are the latest updates on Alfie Evans' case. Live times in GMT. 2:49 p.m. update. NHS staff at the Royal Liverpool Hospital are reportedly being advised to cover up their uniforms and not wear hospital ID off-site. Merseyside Police issued a warning last night that abuse of Alder Hey Hospital would not be tolerated, and the force would investigate where necessary. Now healthcare workers at the trust received an email recommending measures to be taken regarding uniform and identification off the hospital site. A spokesman for the Royal said, "Following local reports of abuse towards NHS staff, we have provided our staff with advice regarding their own safety and security. Abuse of NHS staff or others whose role is to protect and care for others should not be tolerated." 2:24 p.m. update. Alfie's army accused of using guerrilla tactics by legal expert Dr. Daniel Sokol, a medical ethicist and barrister, said, "As the legal routes are blocked time and time again, the tactics of some sections of Alfie's army are those of guerrilla warfare, threats, insults, and intimidation. The clinicians, the NHS, the government and the judiciary are painted as the vile and heartless enemy. Facts and motives are twisted to suit the aim, which is to put unbearable pressure on the hospital and its clinicians, until they crack." He described the approach as ugly and distressing, adding, "There is a real risk that these guerrilla tactics will become the norm in best interest cases involving children, which would be disastrous." Instagram. Alfie Evans update. Mr. Evans said the family did have appeals to explore. 2:13 p.m. update. Abuse directed at medical staff treating terminally ill Alfie Evans demonstrates a lack of understanding. Laura Davidson, a mental capacity barrister at No. 5 Chambers, said there had been appalling instances of misrepresentation in cases dealing with the health and welfare of children. Dr. Davidson said, "In both the Charlie Gard case and that of Alfie Evans, hardworking staff doing very difficult jobs have been demonized, verbally abused and threatened." She added, "Unfortunately, persistent unmeritorious litigation and understandable but ill-informed emotional reactions from some members of the public who do not seem to have read the clear and measured judgments only serve to keep family wounds raw." 1:52 p.m. update. A new Alfie's Law campaign is being launched today to call for a change of law for parents with ill children. The campaign is being launched today by Stephen Wolf Mep and think tank Parliament Street, and the leaders have issued calls for a change in the law to bring an end to the tragic situation of parents of young children such as Alfie Evans. A Parliament Street spokesperson said, "Whilst we absolutely recognise the skill and dedication of medical professionals in the UK, we stand by the moral rights of parents, and their children, too. Their informed decisions about care and treatment." Recent high-profile cases have seen parents drawn through protracted legal battles which have forbidden children to be taken from hospital for medical care by their clinical peers in other countries, and leading parents to become the clinical link for their own child. Mr. Wolf launched the campaign outside the Houses of Parliament today. He said, "The cases of Charlie Gard, Aisha King, and now Alfie Evans, show a dangerous trend of public bodies depriving parents and families of the right to make decisions they believe are in the best interests of their children. Parents' rights should neither be ignored nor dismissed as irrelevant by hospitals and courts, who believe they know best and have the power, money and resources to overwhelm families who simply want to save their child. We demand a change in the law to restore the rights of parents in such decisions." Instagram. Alfie Evans update. His mom and dad want to take him home. 1:36 p.m. update. Alfie's dad insists his son deserves to go home today. In an emotional post, dad Tom Evans accused Alder Hey and its legal team of putting their pride before the little boy as he took to Facebook earlier this afternoon. "It's about Alfie and no one else and he deserves to go home today," he posted online. 12:50 p.m. update. Piers Morgan adds his support to allow parents to take Alfie Evans home. TV presenter has weighed in on the Alfie Evans case again today. Earlier this morning, he tweeted a photo of the terminally ill tot with the caption, "Let them take him home. He's their little boy, nobody else's." Meanwhile, many families visiting the hospital for treatment have experienced unwanted and unhelpful additional stress as a result of the public presence outside the building. We would urge all those who wish to express a view on the very sad and difficult circumstances faced by Alfie and his family to do so in a peaceful and respectful way that allows staff and visitors to go about their activities without fear of abuse or intimidation. Twitter. Alfie Evans update. Piers Morgan tweeted his support for Alfie's parents. 12:16 p.m. update. Alfie has now been breathing for more than 60 hours after life support switched off. An admin user from the Alfie's Army official Facebook page posted this afternoon. 62 hours of independent breathing. Alfie Evans' life support machine was switched off on Monday, but his dad said within minutes his young son was breathing. This morning, Tom Evans revealed Alfie is lying on the bed with 1 liter of oxygen going to his lungs and the rest is him. 12:05 p.m. update. Hundreds of supporters of Alfie Evans protesting outside British Embassy in Poland. Hundreds of Alfie's angels are protesting against the Court of Appeal decision not to allow the tot to fly to Italy for treatment. The crowds gathered to light candles and place teddy bears outside the British Embassy in the center of the city overnight, with many saying prayers for the sick toddler. 12:02 p.m. update. Alfie Evans' dad, Tom, said he wouldn't seek to fly his little boy to Italy if he was allowed to bring him home. Speaking on LBC, President Nick asked him, would you be satisfied with just having him at home, or once you had him would you then seek to use an air ambulance to get him to Italy? Alfie's dad replied, I wouldn't take advantage of having Alfie home. I would have Alfie home and I would sustain his life at home with a private doctor, private team. We would do everything we can to keep Alfie home, comfortable and happy. Alfie Evans update. Dad Tom Evans lashed out at hospital bosses. Facebook. Alfie Evans update. His dad issued a prayer in a Facebook post. 11:41 a.m. update. Alfie's mom has helped him fight through the night, letting him sleep on her chest. Speaking to LBC Today, Dad Tom said, Alfie's fought through the night the last 2 nights because he's been lying on her chest non-stop, and him and his mom have become closer now more than ever before. She's doing. I've got to say, I'm absolutely shocked by Kate. I thought she'd be really broken and absolutely hysterical. In fact, she was broken, but she was very calm and she dealt with the matter so well. I'm so lucky I've got a partner like her. I wouldn't wish for Alfie to have another mum, and Alfie is so blessed to have her. 11:22 a.m. update. Supporters of Alfie Evans and his family are planning to gather outside Buckingham Palace today. A Facebook page is urging people to show their solidarity with the little boy at the London site at 4 p.m. The page reads, show your solidarity with Alfie Evans, our small boy whom the British court took away. Hope to live. Medical helicopter, airplane and ambulance provided by Italian government is on standby outside Liverpool Hospital, ready to transport Alfie over to Children's Hospital in Vatican, Roma. The page, called Alfie's Blue Pray March, We Are Against Inhuman Law, suggests hundreds of people could descend on the palace as more than 700 have expressed interest in attending the event. However, the march is expected to be peaceful. One person wrote, can we all keep the march as quiet as possible please? Is all about praying for our little hero Alfie, not protesting. Please respect the parents. The protest comes after more than 200,000 people have signed a petition to the Queen, demanding she step in to save the young tot. Instagram. Alfie Evans update. Alfie has slept on his mum's chest through the night. 11:15 a.m. update. Debate over Alfie's breathing rages on. An Alder Hey lawyer told the Court of Appeal in London yesterday, it was never suggested death would be instantaneous, and now Twitter and Facebook have been awash with claims about what has been said in previous hearings, denying the claim in court yesterday. At one previous hearing, one medical professional explained Alfie's ventilation would ultimately stop once ventilation is removed, then depending on the situation of the child, we may have a period where they breathe for hours, days, sometimes much less, they said, for however long that is. We ensure children have adequate pain relief, another doctor said. With time he will become more and more vulnerable. There are a significant number of problems which might ensue in the future. He won't be able to maintain his own breathing. He might just suddenly die. 10:43 a.m. update. Italy hospital says it is waiting for Alfie to die. Italian hospital offering further treatment to Alfie Evans has hit out at the latest ruling preventing the seriously ill toddler from being taken there, and that they have no choice but to wait for the death of the child. Bambino Gesù President Mariella Enos hit out at the latest ruling and has given up hope of bringing the youngster in for treatment. In these moments, I feel that we must accept what we do not want to accept, he said. There is a law that is stronger than all of us, and we have no choice but to wait for the death of the child. I suspect that it responds to an ideological battle and that the decision does not respond strictly to legal reasons. I suspect there is hostility towards the Vatican Hospital. This very rigid way of applying the law shows that they do not accept dialogue, which we had not raised in ideological terms about life, but in scientific terms about the ability to cure. Save Alfie Evans. Alfie Evans update. Alfie is breathing without life support. 10:30 a.m. update. Full timeline of Alfie Evans' life and illness. Only 23 months old, but tiny little Alfie Evans is already embroiled in a messy legal battle that has divided the nation. His parents Tom and Kate hope to continue their fight to bring their little boy home today after doctors switched off his life support. Here is a timeline of events that led to Alfie's appeal. 10:09 a.m. update. Alfie Evans' dad says Dr. hate him. Tom this morning told LBC that he believes that Alder Hey doctors hate him for fighting against the decision to end his life support. 10:04 a.m. update. Supporters have been outraged after dad Tom Evans was cut off mid-interview this morning. Tom gave press an update on Alfie's condition, explaining how he was doing well, but was still quite weak. However, as he gushed about how proud he was of his son, Good Morning Britain's coverage faded out as Tom said, "There's no cost, it shouldn't are about cost, it should be about Alfie. He's proved us all wrong, but not me and Mum." Viewers flocked to Twitter in outrage following the coverage's end and demanded to know what happened to the feed. One wrote, "At GMB, why did you cut that interview short with Tom Evans? Sick." Another added, "Why did you cut the feed?" A third said, "Cutting off Tom Evans at GMB was just rude. Wouldn't happen on it." Piers Morgan watch. 9:37 a.m. update. Police remain outside the hospital today after Alder Hey said its staff had experienced unprecedented personal abuse. In an open letter, the hospital chairman Sir David Henshaw and chief executive Louise Shepherd, "Having to carry on our usual day-to-day work in a hospital that has required a significant police presence just to keep our patients, staff and visitors safe is completely unacceptable." 9:24 a.m. update. Doctors will meet with parents Tom and Kate today to discuss sending Alfie home. Doctors say the toddler has a rare degenerative neurological condition and is considered to be in a semi-vegetative state. But Tom and Kate claim their son no longer needs to be intensive care and are hoping to bring him home. "We got rejected yesterday to go to Italy unfortunately," he told reporters on Thursday. "We could take it further, but would that be the right thing to do? Would there be more criticism? So what we do today is we have a meeting with the doctors at Alder Hey and we now start asking to go home." 9 a.m. update. To recap, latest court cases in Alfie Evans' fight. Tom Evans and Kate James yesterday failed in an 11th-hour attempt to persuade judges to let them move their 23-month-old son to a foreign hospital, citing doctors in Italy who said they were ready to treat the tot. 3 Court of Appeal judges yesterday dismissed a challenge to a High Court decision made on Tuesday that he should not be taken abroad. The couple, who are both in their early 20s and from Liverpool, maintain that life support treatment should continue to be provided. The parents have now lost 2 rounds of fights in the High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court and European Court of Human Rights. The couple said their son had defied doctors' expectations and his continued survival amounted to a significant change of circumstances which merited a review. Alfie Evans update. His father says he was misdiagnosed. Alfie Evans update. Alfie Evans was admitted to Alder Hey Children's Hospital in 2016. He said, "He's been off a ventilator for 3 days now. There's been no deterioration. He hasn't woke up. He's still a little bit weak, but what we ask for is to go home to sustain his life." He said Alfie was still fighting and was comfortable and content with a stable heart rate. However, he also said the family did have appeals to explore, adding, "All I ask for now is for this meeting to be a positive one and I hope to have Alfie, on the terms of mine and Alder Hey, to be home within a day or two. If the meeting doesn't go well today, well then I'll go back to court. As I sit next to Alfie's bedside, every second of every day, it encourages me more and more that he will live for X amount of months, possibly years." He said he hoped to be able to make arrangements with the hospital, despite saying doctors were wrong, to get a care plan in place today. 8:30 a.m. update. Tom told Good Morning Britain he has had support from the Polish Prime Minister and he added how people are starting to scratch their heads, saying, "There are no costs now and it should be about Alfie." Tom went on to explain how the nurses at Alder Hey are stunned by his sustained life. "The nurses come in and said, 'Wow, what more do we use?' But wow, he's still here and it's the 3rd day now." 8 a.m. update. Legal expert says he is furious at the dangerous decision in court yesterday. Roger Kiska, of the Christian Legal Center, told Channel 4 News that it was dangerous when the state police decide if a life is worth living or not. He said, "It is a very dangerous thing when the state determines whether a life is worth living or not, to say what is in Alfie's best interest, that is in this case defining itself in what the state police believe to be in Alfie's best interest." There are other doctors ready, willing to treat him. There are different opinions about what is wrong with him. No one knows. He should be given the right to travel abroad. 7 a.m. updates. Last night, Tom Evans posted a prayer for his son on Facebook. He wrote, "No sleep for 3 days, nothing but torture and deprivation. Our boy continues to fight with no suffering or indication of pain. Coming up to 2 days now. Please savor our son, your lordships."